Welcome to Clink. Thanks for joining us again. If you're a seasoned watcher or if this is your first time, thank you very much for joining us.
Seasoned. I think we need to get that seasoned watcher pins or something.
I think so. Then you can wear your alcoholism on your sleeve. I think so.
Clink when you see a buddy.
Exactly. Anyway, we'll get first, as usual, we'll just get back first straight into our beverage review. So we're switching things up a little bit this week.
Yeah, what's this, Ricky?
That is a glass, a wine glass, and just chuck it there. We're doing some Pepper Jack 2015 Cab Sav, or Cabernet Sauvignon, if for those more that like the correct pronunciation and the correct
How do you pronounce
word.
it?
Cabernet Sauvignon.
Oh,
Yes. So
Cabernet Sauvignon.
Sauvignon. Anyway, so we will
Pepper Jack.
Normally you'd have to aerate. This isn't the way we would advise to drink red, would we?
No.
I'll spot a little bit down the side. That's okay.
There are many methods to aerate. As
There
far as
are
I'm aware.
many methods. You can get a sure that's most of the bottle. You can a carafe. You can get a carafe. You put the wine in there. Leave it for about 20 minutes to half an hour.
Okay.
The longer the
Thank
better.
you. Cheers.
That's for yours. We will clink.
Yep.
So
Cheers.
interesting. Yeah, and we've got some cheese and crackers as the snack of
Yes.
the week this week. So
Snack of the week:
yeah.
cheese and crackers.
I'm not going to grab a piece of that as well.
Yeah. So you said there's the carafe. There's also I've heard of blending.
Yeah,
Wine.
yeah. Anything that is basically moving the wine around to get some air through it is basically fine. And then the longer that it's left and that the oxygen can get to it, normally the better it tastes. So I've heard of, for more expensive bottles of wine, people waiting like hours before they're actually drinking the wine.
Wow,
So
I couldn't restrain myself for that.
yeah, no, nor could I. So
We should test this one day.
yes, no, we should. So anyway,
What do you got for me this week?
this week I stumbled upon a news report yesterday that there was a lot of protests happening in the RSA or South Africa, which is the bottom country in Africa, if you're not sure about the geography.
Okay.
Now, they were all protesting about getting rid of the president of their country. We thought Trump was bad, but I've done a lot of research,
Okay.
and
There's been a lot of protests to get rid of current presidents in a lot of places at the moment.
I think so, and yeah, it seems to be this trend. I think with more free speech and everything like that.
Okay.
People do go out and they do voice their opinions more, and I think maybe with social media and everything
good,
like
right?
that.
No.
I think it is. I think it is good. I mean, their voices are being heard of the people, which is unfortunately a lot of those people are the people that vote for the person to get in power, and then they realize that they've actually made a mistake.
Yeah. So whether that's acted on, it's neither here nor there. At least they're able to voice their opinion on the matter.
No, exactly. And we'll get into what President Zuma actually has. So it's Jacob Zuma is the president of South Africa.
Zuma.
Zuma.
Not the guy with the dancing.
No, that's Zumba. This is President Zuma. Yeah, no, there's no.
Okay.
They're not protesting about any dancing, that's for sure. So he actually has no formal education. He is running a country.
Just on the no formal education on being president, or
Yeah, no, just no formal education. So no high school, no university, nothing. So he actually has
no GCSEs,
no GCSEs,
English,
no.
Well, it wouldn't be English, but
Exactly. So
No science.
the interesting part, though, from that
okay.
is that he can actually speak fluently 7 different languages, including French, Russian.
But how without formal education?
He's self-taught. He's actually taught himself those languages.
That's bizarre. So you could be taught in a subject that's self-taught and not hold. I don't know. You can hold qualifications in your own mind as far as you're concerned. I got myself to this level.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like for me, for example, I self-taught myself a little bit of HTML, but I'm no way am I a web developer.
Yeah.
So those sort of things, I suppose. But this guy,
but from what I'm saying here is like we've got a president of a country. I mean, how do you encourage the people to bring you in when you can only say, I've self-taught myself? So, no worries.
Well, this comes down to the country in general, I think. It is a widely... 90% of the country's wealth is held by 10% of the country. And they have 54
Wow.
and they have 54 million people in their country. So that just shows you the amount of poverty and stuff that is actually in that country.
That's unreal. Okay.
So that's interesting. I think the GDP of the country is $6,600 US dollars. So
that's pretty low.
So that's the amount of output the country is, like, as economic output the country is doing divided by the population. That comes out to 6,600. In Australia, it's $1.53 trillion.
Either there's a lot of rich people here,
So that shows
or that's very, very low.
So essentially, South Africa isn't the richest country in the world.
Okay.
Now, this president was in the 60s, was actually in jail for 10 years.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
For what?
He was fighting against apartheid.
Being the separation of
Races, yeah.
Yeah.
So essentially, the country was ruled by a white minority. Now that only came down in about 1994.
Wow, that's
So it was
late.
so it was in the 60s that he was actually imprisoned for that, and it took like another 30 years before, before things actually changed in the country.
Unreal.
And in 1994, Nelson Mandela was the first black prime minister, president even. So yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's.
So that's okay. That's maybe not reason to say like, oh, he has skeletons in the closet there. I mean,
No, he was put in jail
for political reasons.
Yeah, for political reasons essentially. So there was a lot of stuff that happened in those sort of times in different countries.
This guy doesn't sound too bad so far.
Yeah, I mean we're really only scratching the surface, but
Okay.
in 1999 he was there was allegations of rape and corruption. Now basically those were then thrown out of court and they disappeared for a little while.
Okay.
Then in 2000...
Thrown out of court?
Yeah, thrown out of court. There wasn't enough evidence or whatever it was. So, but it was corruption. So there's a lot of corruption in Africa. Who's to
Okay.
say that the judges weren't paid off or whoever was giving like evidence was paid?
You never know, do you? That's okay.
Exactly. Well, we're making a lot of assumptions. In 2003, though,
Mhm.
Jacob Zuma's financial advisor was actually convicted. So he wasn't it wasn't brought into court or anything. He was convicted of corruption.
Okay.
So the guy that was running his books was cooking the books.
A Walter White. I just imagine a guy in a Walter White.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the start of where things start to fall apart.
This is where, I'm starting to feel like he started to lose grip a bit.
Yeah, I think so.
Grasp of his.
So that was in 2003. In 2005,
Yeah.
he would
Yeah.
another rape allegation against him. Like if you get one and then it gets thrown out, you're just like, okay, well maybe there was something there, maybe there wasn't. Now there's a second one.
This seems. I mean, so this is like not to seem insensitive, but and you shouldn't. Rape is a terrible thing,
Definitely.
but for his own health, surely. This is very risky for him to rape in that part of the world. I mean,
This is why he was heavily criticized in this court case, because he was. Let's take a step back. Even he pleaded guilty to rape, and then it went to court, and he was criticized for his ignorance towards HIV and AIDS. For anyone that knows Southern Africa, AIDS was a major problem.
okay, so ignorance in what sense?
So,
Just that because he was potentially raping women?
well, he admitted that he had sex with unprotected sex with the accuser, and then had a shower afterwards to wash away the AIDS or the HIV.
A shower?
A shower. So I don't know if this is a very severely deadly disease that is obviously spread from unprotected sex, and he thought that that water would just wash it away. So he was heavily criticized for that.
And this is where we could maybe go back to the unqualified, the education side of things, where perhaps education could have been necessary. Is necessary.
Well,
Education on that is necessary.
No, exactly. That's how AIDS and everything was helped for it not to be such an epidemic in Southern Africa and in Africa, because people were uneducated. They were having unprotected sex. There wasn't access to condoms. They just didn't know about it, and the disease was just going rampant. You had like life expectancies of say 35 years old in some countries. In that area, and it was predominantly because of AIDS and HIV. Now that life expectancy curve has gone back up, and things are looking a bit better in that sort of area, but it is still it was still very bad. And
the tireless efforts of charities and organisations. I mean, it doesn't sound like there's a lot of governmental help at this point.
No, exactly. The charities came in, they helped with advertising and everything like that, and things are, like I said, better. Now, due to this court case and due to what happened, it actually ended up getting acquitted. So some sort of evidence was obviously something happened. Like once again, we haven't read the court things, but we know that the case was acquitted and it just disappeared.
So something fishy might be going on.
It definitely is very fishy. Now, from that, he actually had to resign. As the deputy, he was the deputy president at that stage. So because of that, he actually resigned.
So that's pretty much a vice president position, I guess.
Exactly. So he was the vice president or the deputy president, as it is in South Africa.
Okay.
And they've now so he had to then resign. Bear in mind, this is 4 years before he gets elected as president of South Africa. So somehow in those 4 years, he drummed up enough support from the people to actually vote him in. And that's what happened in 2009.
He's okay.
Now he is he's an advocate of the polygamist sort of lifestyle. He himself has 4 wives.
4 wives.
I can barely deal with one.
4 wives.
4 wives.
Where does he get the time?
I don't know. He has a mistress on the side as well. Which
a mistress.
Yeah.
As well as the 4. Do they know about her?
I don't know. What makes me laugh is who's actually the first lady of the country.
Do they all keep the same rank, or are we talking?
Or is it like is it beauty that actually like ranks them, or is it age, or
smarts,
or first in best dressed? So not sure,
depending on the night.
But yeah, no, he hasn't committed to the other one, although he does have a child with the mistress,
but not the wives.
No, he has 21. Estimated 21 wives. 21 children. He has estimated, so they don't even know how many children Zuma actually has. So
Zuma,
he's been zooming around.
Oh my lord!
Now the latest in 2003, so 2 years before his court case. Maybe this is why he still hasn't married this other woman, but the Princess of Swaziland. He actually paid a dowry of 10 cows to the father so I assume it's the king of Swaziland.
Paid?
Yeah, so he, it's custom in like Zulu and stuff like that you actually pay for the daughter. So you have to give some sort of thing across, and then before they'll actually like accept your sort of application to marry the daughter. So he paid 10 cows.
This seems very, very wrong on quite a few levels, like at least as far as our society goes. If I was to say, hey, can I pay you 10 cows for your daughter, your immediate response wouldn't be, yeah, sure.
No, definitely. I think it's really brings me back to sort of like slavery days and things where you had boats going across the ocean and getting slaves to work on your farm or whatever, and paying them spices.
Yeah, and you would pay in not condiments, but very similar,
or gold or anything like that. Whatever
it wasn't currency, and you.
Yeah, so that's
a lot to take in. Right?
It is. It's a lot. So, now you're wondering where he's storing these 10 cows. This is where the corruption and everything comes from.
So first of all, he has 10 cows to give.
Yes.
So that means he's giving to someone who has space for 10 cows.
Yeah.
Maybe he already has facilities for cows. What if he didn't have facilities for cows?
Exactly. It's not a regular commodity these days. Like, you don't buy and sell cows to each other.
This deal went down.
Yeah, no, it did. He hasn't married her yet. So I don't know why. It could have been because of the 2005 court case.
I wouldn't be surprised. But he's given the cows?
Yes, he has given the cows already. So, but he hasn't got the woman yet.
So maybe the negotiations are still underway.
Yeah, maybe they are. But the space for the cows, this is where the corruption and things comes in. Okay. So Zuma has...
I need another drink. You have to
Yeah.
lay it on me.
Oh, well, I'll have another sip as well. This red is not bad.
I'm, little spoiler. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. So Zuma stole money, or he hasn't paid it back, to the South African.
That is stealing.
Yeah. To the South African.
It could be a loan.
Yes. He built extensions on his house. He put in a new swimming pool. He put in a cow paddock, essentially, to store
house.
Cow
so
house.
to quote Jesse Pinkman.
Yes.
A barn.
A chicken run, an amphitheater, and he also has he's also just recently been found to have actually stolen money from the Reserve Bank. So he's actually taking money.
How?
So
this guy.
So yeah. So it comes down to ignorance and things. I think he just doesn't understand.
It's
just
very binary, like in the things that he's desiring as well. It's like, and I want a swimming pool and a chicken run. It's like, how do you go from a swimming pool to a chicken run?
I think from his upbringings, that's like it's very agricultural and everything like that. So you have cows and you have
There's
chickens.
no chance he's going to have time to look after all that.
Not at 73 years old or 74, however
With
old
4
he is.
wives, a mistress, approximately 21 children, and the president.
And he's got to run the country as well, or try to run the country. So that's on that note, you go and have a look, go and research him, look at the person that's running the country, and he's still in power unless he resigns until 2019. It's another 2 years. So I mean, there doesn't seem to be anything in place to impeach him. So I mean, where everyone complains about what Trump is doing.
I was just about to say, I now see Trump in a different light. Potentially. Trump is almost like this shining star. You look at Obama, he's like a god. Compared. Okay.
Exactly. Anyway, I think we'll move on to the review of our wine.
Yeah, I think we should. Thank you for that enlightenment. We need to review this.
We do. Pepper Jack Cabernet Sauvignon 2015 barrel. To be honest, it's for my initial thoughts. It's from South Australia, so that always puts it in good stead for a wine.
Yeah, it's already on that good foot.
The aromas are magnificent.
What would you think about the taste? I mean, for me, a little spoiler again. It's doing well. I mean, my thoughts are that. Let me know. What do you think? Tell me what your thoughts are.
I don't think it doesn't have the fruity aromas or anything like that as some of the other cab sauves I've had before. It is it's definitely more in the savoury palate.
Can you taste the pepper?
I can. I mean, Pepper Jack is in the name, and I think that it does come through. It does have that sort of like spice, and it does work in that sort of way. So I think we'll go through to the 3, 2, 1. I think so. 3, 2, 1.
Absolutely,
it's a thumbs up. And in the end of the day, you in the cutaway when we did lose the camera, you did say if you had the opportunity.
I'll give it a double thumbs. I think.
Yeah, you were going a double thumbs up, and I concur. So anyway, guys, thanks very much for watching.
Continuity wise,
yes.
Cheese, as far as we were aware, just ate itself.
It did. So Dark Matter, go research that as well. But go research Jacob Zuma as well. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel.
If you want to support us, that's the best way to do it.
Yeah. So thank you very much for watching. We thank you for your time, and have a great rest of your day.
Cheers.
Cheers.